All right, Fiberistas. Hey, welcome. Happy Wednesday. And thanks for joining me live. Today I'm talking about dreads. And let me make sure my iPad's volume's turned down. Okay. Because then we get feedback. Anyway, so today I'm talking about dreads. I've been using dreads in my work a lot. A whole lot, and there's a story behind that. Because I ended up with a big inventory of dreads, and I'll explain in a minute. But let me first back up. Excuse me. When I worked at Lark, I worked on this book, Fabulous Felted Scarves, by Chad Alice Hagen and Jory Johnson. And when these projects came through, they were absolutely amazing. They were so wonderful. And the thing that I liked, if you can see this, it's a scarf made out of really long ropes of felt. And I thought that was amazing. It mind blown. I mean, I'd heard of, making felt and Nuno felting and stuff like that, but sculptural type stuff, that was amazing. So, I had a lot of wool. I had a lot of wool to practice stuff like that. So I decided to, practice making some dreads. And I found that they can be kind of labor intensive. but they're fun. They're a fun, you end up with a really fun thing. I'm going to show you some of the dreads that I had. Yeah, some of the dreads, you see here's a couple, and you can see I'm wearing some here. All right, so fast forward to sometime around 2012, and I was working the Leaf Festival in Black Mountain. If you're not familiar, and I'll put a link in the show notes. The Leaf Festival is a really fun kind of music, hippie-ish kind of earthy festival that happens just outside of Asheville. And actually, the Leaf Festival was one of the big reasons why I ended up moving to Asheville. I had gone to the Leaf Festival a few times and just fell in love with the area back in the late 90s and decided to move there. And so I did. Anyway, so I had the opportunity to vend yarn at the Leaf Festival. I thought, hey, why don't I make all these dreads? These hippies will love it, and they'll they can put them in their hair or have it, whatever. Anyway, so I made all these dreads, and people who have their own dreadlocks don't tend to want yarn ones. I found that out the hard way. But what was interesting is I had SAF like 2 weeks later, and those dreads ended up, it sold out. Those dreads ended up selling really, really well. Ooh, I'm getting a no data thing. Let me see. Ooh. I'm hoping that it's going to resolve. There it is. Okay. Sorry. My internet connection's really iffy, and the guys have been working across the street for like 2 weeks. Anyway. All right. So I went to SAF, and you guys at SAF really loved buying the dreads. So there it was. But I still ended up with a huge inventory of dreads. So when I started doing art weaving, I became interested in adding those dreads. And I know I've shown you guys this scarf. Oops. This I did on my rigid heddle loom. And this scarf, it's really long too. This scarf is just ridiculous. And I love it though. I love this scarf. Anyway, this is my wild dread boa scarf. And it's made with a lot of those leftover dreads from that inventory I have. I've also been using them, not wild and crazy like that, but just as little accents. You can see here I took a few pieces of thick dreads and added them in. I also have used them just, to kind of dangle off the sides. And add some texture into some of my scarves. Let's see. Oh, here's a piece that I did. This is that Sayori piece that I did in that class a couple of weeks ago. And I added some dreads. And adding it as side fringe kind of adds you know, a little, I don't know if you can't, probably can't see because of it have all my other dreads going on here. But, I mean, the dreads kind of add just a little something, you know, and it's a wonderful texture to play with. And there's a lot of other things you can do with dreads as far as fiber art goes. I mean, it's pretty endless what you can do. So anyway, yeah, let me show you. There's, you know, I've got things like I make dreads with art yarns, and then I've got, you know, some traditionally felted dreads. And for a while, oh, this dread is interesting. There's, all right, let's see if this does it. I don't know how much you guys missed. For some reason, it stopped streaming, and I don't know why. And I'm so sorry. So let's try this again. I'm going to back up to about where where I was talking about the different kinds of dreads. Anyway, I have some art yarn dreads, and I've got some traditionally felted dreads, and so I've been working with dreads a lot since that festival in 2012. And there's even a guy from Los Angeles who I'm in touch with, and he does some he uses the dreads in his own hair. This white one here is a sample of a dread that I made for him to tie into his hair, and it's part of his costume for Burning Man. And he's a hairdresser, and so he and I have worked together on some other costumes at Burning Man with some of my wool dreads. Anyway, so outside of that, I've been using it in my scarves and all my work. So what I'm here, but what I'm going to tell you is I have a new class, and it's part of the Art Weaving Beyond the Basics. Now, I had the Art Weaving Beyond the Basics class, and I'm breaking it out into series, and the first lesson's going to be on dreads, and I'm taking that dread lesson and I'm expanding it. I'm teaching 3 techniques on how to make dreads. I'm giving you some basic felting theories, and then I'm going to give you some ideas of how to use it in your weaving, as well as taking it further. I mean, you know, brainstorming some out-of-the-box ideas to kind of use it as a sculptural form inside your weaving. Anyway, so that launches on March 20th, so that's 2 weeks from today. And right now, the class is actually live, but the lessons aren't in there, but it's live for a pre-sale. So what it is you can register, you can enroll between now and the 20th, and be ready to go. So as soon as those classes hit, you'll have access to them on the 20th. But between now and then, if you use the code PRESALE, 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 and I'll put a